To show an equivalent fraction, we can either scale up the fraction or we can scale down the fraction. So in this case here, we're going to decrease the proportion by a factor of 12 because both the numerator and denominator share a factor of 12. And we can show it in this way. We can show that we divide the top by 12 to get 1. We can divide the bottom by 12 to get 3. And that gives us the fraction in lowest terms. We can also show the same thing by showing the factors of the factored form of the numerator and denominator. And we know that the denominator and numerators, if we have a times 12 on top, divide 12 on bottom, we can cancel those out. And that gives us, when we cancel division, we're left with 1, and we end up with 1 over 3. To draw a picture for a fraction addition, we can use circles. Okay, we can use fraction bars if we like. So I'm going to first start off with, I'm just going to erase that, a 2/3 fraction. Okay, I can show a 2/3 fraction by shading in 2/3 like this. Okay, and I could have my 1/6 fraction by dividing this up into 6 parts. And we can have our 1/6 fraction here like this. And to show how this can add together, we need to count the same size pieces, we need to make this into the same size pieces. Okay, so if I do a times 2 times 2, I end up with 4/6 plus 1/6, and that's going to give me a new picture of 5/6. So I can shade in 5 parts out of the 6, and that gives me the 5/6 that I'm looking for. When we are finding common denominators, we want to make the denominators the same, which means that we want to make the factors the same. Since the fraction algebra is times and divide, we're going to rewrite the denominator in this case as 3 times 5 plus 1 over 2 times 3. And to get a common denominator, we just need to match the denominators. So when I take a look at the left-hand denominator, it's missing a factor of 2. So I'm going to write in a times 2 on the bottom. I have to make sure that I balance the fraction to get times 2 on top. On the right-hand fraction, I'm missing a times 5, and I need to make sure I do a times 5 on top. So when I do this, I now have a common denominator fraction. The common denominator works out to be 30. So I have 4 over 30 plus 1/6 becomes 5 over 30, and that gives me 9 over 30. And it is very useful to, especially for more complicated denominators, to be able to list out the factors and match all the factors. So we're just checking to see if the factors are all, these factors match up with all these factors.